Yo, it's your boy Mo coming at you from my balcony here in Medellin, Colombia. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about 4 weird ways to naturally increase your testosterone levels so that you can live with more energy, purpose, and power. So, the first weird way to naturally increase your testosterone levels is to practice powerful body language. So Amy Cuddy and her team of researchers at Harvard University brought in 42 students and had half of them adopt low power body language and the other half adopt high power body language. Now, low power body language can be characterized by being closed, not taking up space, unconfident, while high power body language can be characterized by being open, expansive, confident, and taking up space. So blood samples were collected once before adopting these body language positions and once after adopting these postures, all right? And what they found was that the students adopting the high power body language actually had significantly higher testosterone levels and significantly lower cortisol levels compared to the students adopting low power body language. Now, there is a lot of criticism that has come out on this study because the results weren't exactly been able to be replicated in other studies. But recently, in March of 2018, Amy Cuddy actually published a meta-analysis study of 64 other studies that were studying the effects of body language on how it affects a person. And across the board, the conclusion was in every single one of these studies that adopting expansive, open, powerful body language has significant positive impact on a person's energy, mood, and feelings of personal power as well. So the importance of body language cannot be underestimated. It's not for sure whether it will initiate a massive increase in testosterone because the results from Amy Cuddy's first study were not exactly able to be replicated. But the bottom line is that how you carry yourself in the world has a massive impact not only about how you feel about yourself, but how others perceive you as well. So what I like to do early in the morning, first thing, is to come out over here on this balcony and take my shirt off and soak some vitamin D and stand in a position like this, all right? Just stretch it out, feel the tightness in the shoulders and the back, roll your shoulders back and just take some deep breaths into your belly, all right? That's what I try to do every single morning, but try to be aware of your posture, all right? Roll your shoulders back, neck back, the chest out, you know, like you don't have to overdo it, but don't be slouching, all right? Be conscious of your posture because it impacts not only how you feel about yourself, like I said, but how others perceive you as well. And that brings us to the second weird way to naturally increase your testosterone levels, and that is to chop some wood, all right? Now, if you picture the quintessential lumberjack, you can picture the checkered red shirt, the thick-ass beard, the broad shoulders, the thick forearms, and being a lumberjack has long been considered one of the manliest of professions, all right? And recent research actually points to the fact about why this is so. So researchers went into the Amazon forest and brought in and were studying 63 indigenous people who were chopping wood, all right? So they took salivary samples once before and once 1 hour after they chopped some wood. And what they found was that just 1 hour of chopping wood elevated the indigenous people's testosterone levels by close to 50%, all right? That was more than even competition was able to increase testosterone levels, and the competition they analyzed was soccer. So the bottom line is that there's something to be said about chopping wood, all right? Now, you might not want to be a lumberjack, but something that you can do is just get a sledgehammer, get like a tractor tire, and just mimic the motion of chopping wood. I don't know if that would have the same effect because there is an aspect of providing resources and using that wood for other purposes, but if you want to try out mimicking the motion of the sledgehammer and hitting the tire, then go ahead, all right? But yeah, it's something to be said about chopping wood, man. I mean, 1 hour, 50% increase in testosterone, that's pretty significant. And that brings us to the third weird way to naturally increase your testosterone levels, and that is to eat more fat. Now, studies show that dietary fat is extremely important for testosterone, and in one study, when subjects were switched over from a diet providing 40% of the calories from fat to a diet providing 25% of the calories from fat, their testosterone levels took a significant dip, all right? Other studies have also shown that dietary fat intake has a direct correlation with testosterone production. Now, there is a lot of stigma around eating dietary fat. There's, you know, people think that it's unhealthy and that eating fat will make you fat. I filmed an entire separate video on the importance of fat, but the bottom line is that testosterone is literally manufactured from dietary cholesterol, all right? So in other words, eating dietary fat literally provides your body with the fundamental building blocks it needs to produce optimal levels of testosterone. So it's not only quantity of fat that matters, all right? Quality of fat is just as important, if not more. And I'd recommend you check out my video on fats, which I'll link out to below. But in general, stick with dietary fat sources that come from olive oil, that come from animal sources like meats and avocados, and what you want to avoid is vegetable oils, all right? Vegetable oils are very bad for you, and again, I'd encourage you to check out my video linked out below, but they cause inflammation in the body, and that just leads to a host of negative side effects, all right? So in terms of the quality, go for animal sources and natural sources and olive oil sources and coconut oil. And in terms of the quantity, now the Institute of Medicine recommends anywhere between 25 to 40% of your daily calories coming from fat. But what this recommendation doesn't account for is lean body mass. So I like to make the recommendation based off of the research performed by Michael Matthews from Muscle for Life. And what he says is that you should consume about 0.3 grams of fat per pound of lean body mass. So yeah, fit more healthy fats in your diet that come from animal and plant sources, avoid vegetable oils, and as per the quantity, strive for 0.3 grams per pound of lean body mass. That brings us to the fourth weird way to naturally increase your testosterone levels, and that is to practice abstinence. Now, abstinence has been a common practice in boxing for a number of years because there's a belief in boxing that ejaculation saps aggression while abstinence builds it up. This is why Muhammad Ali actually used to go 6 weeks without having sex before an upcoming fight. Freddie Roach, who's the trainer of Manny Pacquiao, recommends going 10 days for abstinence before a fight. And Mike Tyson apparently went 5 years without having sex during his up-and-coming times, all right? Now, obviously, I don't recommend you go 5 years, but it's definitely interesting to note, all right? And the thing is that this practice is nothing new, all right? So it's been going on since the time of the ancient Greeks. In fact, the boxing champion, boxing and wrestling champion in 216 BC in the Olympics was a man named Clytomachus, I think it was. I can't really pronounce his name properly, but it's probably like Clytomachus or something. But this guy basically refused to even talk about sex, right? When he saw dogs mating in the street, he would look the other way. So this practice has been going on since the time of the ancient Greeks, and modern science actually tends to lend some credence to it. So when a bunch of healthy male subjects were brought into a lab and assessed for their testosterone levels once before, and once 3 weeks after practicing abstinence, their testosterone levels were significantly higher. In another study, researchers brought in again a bunch of healthy male volunteers and had them practice 7 days of abstinence and measured their testosterone levels every single day. On day 7, their testosterone levels elevated by 145%. All right, now that is a pretty drastic increase, and if you want to dive more into this, I'll link out to my video below in which I go over the benefits of NoFap, and that's definitely something you want to check out if you've been addicted to watching too much internet porn and masturbating too much. So those are the 4 weird ways that I've found to naturally increase your testosterone levels, and I'll just run you through a quick recap of them. The first weird way is to practice powerful body language, all right? Open, expansive, shoulders back, chest out. The second weird way is to chop some wood. Now, you might not want to be a lumberjack, so you can get a sledgehammer, a tractor tire, and just mimic the motion of that. The third weird way is to eat more dietary fat, but it's not only the quantity, you also want to concentrate on the quality and focus more on getting those fat sources from animal and plant sources, all right? And the fourth weird way to naturally increase your testosterone levels is to practice abstinence. Now, this is a practice that has been common in boxing and since the ancient times of the Greeks, and research shows that practicing abstinence leads to a significant increase in testosterone. And if you want to dive deeper into this topic, I'd recommend you check out my video on the benefits of NoFap, which I linked out below. That being said, I hope that this video has provided you with some valuable and more importantly actionable information that you will actually implement into your life. And with all that being said, this has been Mo Salim, and I'll see you soon.